Today's Friday, May 29th, 2020. End of the work day, end of the work week. It's been a really big one. It's been a really tough one on a lot of levels. But at the moment, I'm exhausted and tired and happy, feeling good for no particular reason other than maybe the last couple days have been so hard that I just feel good that I moved through those rough days, and today feels light and simple. I didn't record a video the last 3 days, and it's the longest little pause or break I've given myself. Had a big conversation with my dad Tuesday evening after work, and I'm heading out to see him in a couple weeks. 2 weeks from today. And his health has not been good for a long time. And this last phone conversation was another scare in a row of many scares that have been spaced out over the last couple years of just where he's at with his health, and he's not doing so good. And hearing him speak from the place of kind of distance, indifference about me coming out to see him, indifference about not eating much right now, having a rough few days, and he's like not feeling too optimistic about his life lasting much longer. And it really rocked me. I kind of knew he was in a rough space, and I was really excited about getting out there to see him. And it just was a bit of a reality check, I guess, of where he's actually at right now. And yeah, it was a really rough thing, and I didn't do a video that night. And the next day I went to work. I was feeling that conversation really strong, and then by the end of the day at work, I'm getting angry at everything and having a rough day at work, and gave myself another free pass and then on the video. And then yesterday we went back to the same job, and was just feeling exhausted and tired and overworking. And I'm sure it has a lot to do with the emotions running between me and my father, and seeing him come near the end of his life and what that's gonna feel like for me. But it brings up so many other things, and then I find that whenever I'm tired or worn out, then like all the things that aren't quite right in my life or aren't feeling good, they surface in that same vibration. And by Thursday I was having a rough day of like, just didn't want to be at work. Some days work doesn't make any sense. A lot of days it doesn't, but some days even more. It's just, there seemed like so many more important things for me to be tending to in my life that had nothing to do with the job I was on. And do I appreciate my plumbing jobs and construction jobs that give me money to eat and pay my rent? Oftentimes the job itself, what I'm doing, the house I'm remodeling, the bathroom I'm remodeling, doesn't mean anything to me. It's not inspiring. I could care less whether it happens or doesn't happen. And meanwhile, my heart, my psyche, my spirit path is on fire to do so many things. And I get so frustrated, so angry at work to just be like spending the last bit of my life force energy doing this thing that I don't really believe in or care about. I'm like, what difference does it make whether I'm here doing this or not? Like, it's just so pointless. And I lose it, I get angry and lose it a lot and start getting angry at everything on the job, but really I'm just angry about that. Like, I feel like there's something so much more meaningful for me to be doing with my life. So in my rants, the cool brother that I was working for, the cool uncle that I was working for who had hired me for the job and was on the job working with him, he was seeing me get all angry, and he's about 10 years older than me and was asking me some good questions and checking in with me and wanting to know, like, what is it I want to do and what would I do and how would I address these things. And a little bit of what came out was like, I feel like the planet is in a mess right now on so many levels, and it's not about having the answer for it or like, hey, I've got the solution, everybody, like, just listen to me. It's like we're not even talking about it. We're not even focusing on it. We're not even giving it our conscious attention and addressing it. And we're not holding conversation about it. And we're not able to, and that frustrates me. And I try to let go of like needing to accomplish something or trying to put myself on some heavy mission to fix problems or to get so upset or angry about what's going on, like it's all on me to do something. I'm trying to lighten up that way. And in fact, my friend on the job was encouraging me to make sure I don't lose my joy in this life, and that's been a message coming through 2 or 3 other people all in the same week. Just encouraging me to find my joy vibration, to be acting from that place, creating from that place. And so I'm searching for it, and I have a little undercurrent of anger towards my parent generation, towards the older generation, towards sometimes especially older men in my life, or even men my same age. It's just like, I'm like, what are you guys passing down to me? Where's the wisdom? Where's the, setting us in a good direction? And, where's the wise words? So I have a little angst around that sometimes. A little disappointment. And then I'm like, hey, I don't want to do the same thing. I want to start something that I believe in and get that going and make a buzz about it and create something. Like, if it's not the answers, it's the beginning of coming together to speak about things that we need to speak about. And I've got 1,000 ideas and understandings of what the positive evolution of our species would look like, or is gonna look like. It will inevitably look like. And I want to start moving towards that and gathering people to move in that direction. And I know it will have to be inspired from the inside. It's not about me telling them. It's just about us all being like, hey, do you hear that same music playing? And like, now we can all dance together. Now we can all start creating together because we're on the same page. We're on the same vibration. And if you're not hearing it yet, but you want to hear it and you're trying to hear it, or you're interested in hearing it, well, then more of us that are getting together and speaking and holding and visioning and calling in that vision, well, then it's going to make it easier for the next tiers out to hear that bigger party of like, hey, there's 10 men, there's 100 men, there's 1,000 men already holding that vibration. Now it's easier for other men to hear it and to come into coherence with it. And I speak to men because I feel called to work with men and to do men's work to prepare us as a species, prepare us as, one half of the species to get ready to be in a better state to be working with our women. And to take responsibility for holding down a peace vibration. So I guess what I'm speaking to is that when I'm getting angry at work, this is what we're talking about. Me getting angry, me losing it at work and getting frustrated, is that it's not so much that I feel like I have all the answers as much as I don't see any efforts being made in the right directions. And I want to start a movement of moving in that more healthy direction. I want to be putting energy every day, every week into gathering people to hold these conversations, to not just hold a conversation, but hold a vibration of awakening, a vibration of enlightenment, a vibration of coming into our vision of our higher selves, personally and as a species. Like it's inevitable that we're waking up to this, but we can also choose to welcome these vibrations in, to surrender into them, to call them in, to start to move in direction and notice our shadows, our unconscious aspects that are keeping us from moving in that direction, and begin to move it out of the unconscious into the conscious, to start working with it, to start paying attention to it, to start seeing what learning that has for us, what's in between us and ushering in a new earth paradigm. What part of my own life is in between me and a life of greater happiness, fulfillment, and interconnectedness with my bigger human family, and a deeper connection with the earth, and a way of being able to be a more powerful creator on this planet of the kind of things I believe in. A truth speaker of calling out the things that are not standing in their divine light. And if they're not in their divine light, if they're in corruption, manipulation, control, is there a way that I can speak to and inspire them to step into a place of real power and not a place of false power? Not a place of like hurting inside, but a place of learning how to like tap into true connectedness, true remembering of their soul power, their soul gifts. Sometimes I hesitate to speak to these things because I'm like, I hesitate to speak to them, but I do speak to them. And even when I speak to them, often people are like, I don't quite get what you're saying, or that's nice, but like just in ambivalence, indifference. They're like, that's not really what I'm into. And then they go on, but I'm like, in my mind, everybody's gonna be into this in just a matter of time, but like, because it is what life is, and to be asleep to that, to be avoiding that, to be pursuing something over here, something over there, that's just like, I guess your personal lesson for the moment, but when you get done with that lesson, you're gonna move into a more advanced, like, hey, time to create on bigger levels, time to gather consciousness and into bigger groups for more empowered creation and connectivity and unification. And how do we do that? How do we do that? We don't do it by avoiding each other. We don't do it by avoiding the conversations that are uncomfortable. We don't do it by avoiding our own personal soul growth. And it's not about me wanting to push people into this before they're ready, but it is about me wanting to inspire people to reach for it. To see that there's a gathering of men who are ready to reach for it. That men who are on their own personal growth path and ready to step into a place of more gathered brotherhood, responsibility, and to start to show up for women on the planet, start to show up for our children on this planet, start to show up and bring in up in a powerful way what we do believe in a world that's increasingly tightening the grip of control and domination. Excuse me. And if it's not what we believe in this world of control and domination, then we need to stand up and speak up and claim what we do believe in and start to create the space and embody and demonstrate how we're going to create what we do believe in, if it's not in the same vibration of the domination control society. All of these rants, all of these deep yearnings within me, I try to anchor them into the moment of the day, of where I am right now, and in my day, in my week, and excuse me, in a way this whole rough road seemed to be kicked off by this strange conversation with my father. And all the tension I have and stress I have building about my coming visit with him, his current state of health, the possibility of his death happening soon, maybe sooner than later in this year. Where I'm at with that, and where I'm at with my own life. Sweet little bumblebee right there. But I'm in a good mood today, and I'm really trying to anchor in the lesson of the week for me, which is to not lose my joy over the over these things as I just pay attention to my anger, to that fire building inside, that desire to act, but it's not always clear on how to act and what to do or how to get one foot in front of the next, because I seem to have so much of my energy lost into my daily job and work, and how to set the proper boundaries for myself to not overwork and fatigue myself so that I'm out of energy, out of focus for weeks in a row before I can address these issues that I want to speak to, and not just into this camera, but to circles of men. I want to get conversations going on a bigger global level. I'm happy to show up and be a part of many, many circles, and yeah, I guess it takes a certain amount of me corralling my own energy to build it up to a certain level to where I'm ready to act and create with that level. In the last few days, I haven't even been up to recording a video. I've been sad and depressed and angry and exhausted and all those things at once. But somehow working, just being with that for the last few days, I'm feeling good today. And excited about moving forward on my projects. Working on them this weekend and starting to put some words out, put some ideas out, try to put some invitations out to some of my close brothers, and start to get the conversation going. that's a long enough share for tonight. The last share and this share are my longest to make up for those few days in between. Just a little bit of my fire for today. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Have a good day. See you next time.